In this video we're gonna make this saw. It will go between 2 points. Okay, it will move up and down. So without furthering delay, let's dive into this topic. Okay, so we're gonna create this saw. Okay, so what we need to do, head over to sprite folder. Okay, and find the saw one. Okay, as you can see, this is a sprite sheet. Okay, what we need to do, if I go to sprite editor, as you can see there are multiple sprites, so we need to select single mode to multiple. Okay, and as you can see, this is blurry type. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to select bilinear 2.0 filter. It will make the make clear. Okay, if I choose compression to none. Okay, and then hit apply. As you can see, the blurry has gone. Okay, also we need to make this pixel per unit to 16. Okay, pixel per unit to 16 to make it larger, the sprite sheet. Also we need to slice it. Okay, slice it automatic to select by grid by cell count and count how many columns and rows it has. So it has 8 columns. Okay, 8 columns and 1 row. I'm gonna slice, and then after slicing, hit apply. Okay, it will cut off individually each sprite. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to drag one of them. Okay, drag one of them. If you like, if you also have to add a layer. Okay, add a layer. We're gonna select it. So what you need to do, hit add layer sorting. Okay, and then create a by hit the plus icon and create saw, and select this game object. Okay, select this game object, go to a sprite renderer, additional setting, sorting layer to select saw. Okay, sorting layer select to saw. So we're gonna name this to saw. Okay, chainsaw or saw. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna also create we're gonna create a saw script. Okay, but before that we will make 2 points. From between those 2 points, this saw will move. Okay, this saw will move. So what we need to do, right click. Okay, right click, create a empty game object. Okay, name that to something like points. Okay, points, and go to transform, right click and reset. Okay, reset and select, go to inspector, select any icon, select the red or yellow one to highlight. Okay, so into right click on that game object. Okay, and create empty child object. Okay, and drag that child game object over here. Okay, over here, and select any gizmos. So I'm gonna select the yellow one. Okay, and control D to duplicate this. Okay, control D to duplicate this and move it down. So between these 2 points we're gonna move the saw. So what we need to do, we need to create a script. Okay, or we and also we need to create an array point. Okay, for this array we need to make an array, because there are multiple or more than one point. As you can see, there are 2 points, so we need to make array. We're gonna put all of this point to that array, and we're gonna move this saw. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to create a game object. Also we need to add a collider to collision detection. When the player hit, okay, player will die. So what we need to do, select the game object saw. Okay, select find the circle collider 2D by typing. Okay, and adjust the radius. Okay, adjust the radius like this much. Okay, I think it's great. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna create a saw script. So head over to scripts folder. If you haven't created the script folder, just right click on assets. Okay, create, and then folder, name that folder to script folder. Okay, so we are going to we're gonna head toward to script folder. We're gonna create a saw script. So I already have created. Okay, I already have created. So what I'm gonna do, select the saw game object. Okay, and drag the saw script to that game object. Okay, and double click it to open up this in Visual Studio. So by default I'm gonna move. So start. Okay, so it will have update function and start function, as you know. So what we need, we need a speed amount, how much should we go from this point to this point, or this point to this point. So we need a speed, we need a speed. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make public, we're gonna adjust through inspector, so that's why we're gonna make it public float we will call speed. Okay, public float we call it speed. By default you can set it to any value, like 2f, let's say 2 unit. Okay, we're gonna put f because it's float. Okay, so control s on your keyboard and head back to unit. Oh, we also need to make array points. Okay, so but before that, just head back to control s and head back to unity. You will able to see an speed parameter or speed field. Okay, float. Okay, how much should we go from this point to this point. Okay, so what we're gonna do, as you can see there are 2 points. Okay, so we're gonna make a transform array. A transform basically means position, rotation and scale. So we will count the position. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna create public. Okay, public transform. Okay, transform, this means position, and we have to make it square bracket. Okay, we have to make it square bracket, and we can name it like points. Okay, points. Okay, and control as. Okay, we're gonna put all those 2 points into this array. Okay, into this array. Okay, control s and head back to unity. You will able to see points parameter. Okay, it so we're gonna drag all of these 2 points into that array. Okay, the first one will be 0, the first one index will be 0, and the second one index will be 1. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna drag one by one. So as you can see points, we're gonna drag both of these points into that array. So doing it like doing plus setting 2 types, and you can drag this. But shortcut way is just go to inspector. In the top right corner you can see the lock. Okay, the lock icon. Just lock it and select both this point. Okay, and drag it to that points array. So now we have put it all of this point into that array. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna move. Okay, we're gonna move. So we have to do transform. Okay, transform dot position. Okay, transform dot position, we're gonna set vector 2. Okay, vector 2 dot move towards. This function takes current position and where you want to go, and the speed. We need to specify how much should we go to that point. So current position we have to pass transform. Okay, transform dot position. Okay, transform dot position means the current position. Okay, we are setting it to this function takes the current position and where we want to go. Let's suppose we want to go points. Okay, points, we 0 is the first one and 1 is the second one. Okay, index, you have to pass the index. So let's suppose we're gonna do 0 means the first one at this point. Okay, this point, so we will move to this point. So 0. Okay, dot position, and we have to pass position, and we have also have to assign the speed. Okay, so we're gonna pass the speed, and we also need to multiply this time dot delta time to make frame rate independence. Okay, and control us. So what we are doing, we are changing the current position. Transform dot position means over here current position, and vector 2 dot move towards function takes current position and where you want to go. Okay, so we are by default we are put it 0 means the first point. Okay, and 1 is the second point. So we are going to the first point, and the amount of speed we are going to that point, we have to assign that. We have to pass that as a third argument. Okay, control s on your keyboard and head back to unity. You will able to see this saw will go to this point. Okay, because we assign it 0. Okay, 0 is the first one. we pass the index, okay, and say one is the second one, okay, one is the second one. So just wait for to compiling it, okay, just wait for to compiling it. So if we just move it down, okay, move it down, and now if we hit play, you will able to see this will go to this point, because 0 is the first one and the 1 is the second one. So as you can see, it's moving to that point. We also need to go to this point, okay. So what we're gonna do, where if this saw, okay, if this saw and this point is a point lesser than, between these 2 points, okay, lesser than 0.1f, so we're gonna increase the index, we're gonna set the index to 1, so it will go to this point, okay. As you can see, it's going to the first point, because we pass the index 0 and 1 is the second one. So what we need to do, we need to increase, we need to increase the index to go to next point, okay. When we go to the next point, okay, we're gonna go back to, we're gonna set the index to 0, so it will go to the first point, because in first point index is the 0 and the second point index is the 1. So when our index became 1, okay, index became 1, we will set the index to again to 0. Firstly we're gonna check between these 2 points, okay, between these 2 points, if it's lesser than 0.1f, okay, we're gonna check between these 2 points, okay. If it's lesser than 0.1, so we're gonna increase the index by 1. So 0 plus 1 will be index 1, so it will move to this point, okay. And when we will check, okay, if this point and our saw point, if it's between these points, okay, if the distance is lesser than 0.1f, so we will set back to set the index 0 again, so it will go over to the first one, so it will keep going like this. So what we need to do, instead of defining here, we're going to make another integer value. We will make integer value, okay, we will call this index. By default we're gonna set it to 0, okay. Instead of passing the 0, we're gonna pass the index, okay, index so index is 0, so it will go over to the first point, okay. So what we need to do, we need to check, okay, if vector to distance, okay, vector to distance, this function over here takes two position, okay, takes two position, and it's defined, let's suppose we're 0.1f, okay, 0.1f basically means this function will take two vectors, okay. We're gonna check transform, okay, transform dot position means the saw position and our this position, okay, our saw position and our this first point position, okay, or the second point position, we're gonna check, okay. So we have to pass points and square bracket, we have to pass the index, okay, index, then we have to dot position. So it's gonna check between our saw and the point distance, if it's lesser than 0.1f, okay. If it's lesser than 0.1f, we're gonna increase the index by plus plus, okay, index by plus plus. So for the first we set the index to 0, so the saw will go to the first point and it will check, okay, vector 2 dot distance, if, okay, if vector 2 dot distance, it will check between these 2 points, okay, our saw and the point, if the distance is lesser than 0.1f, so we are increasing the index by 1. So the first will be 0, okay, 0. So in the next frame 0 plus 1, which will be 1 in the next, so the chain saw will go to this point, okay, this point, because we are increasing the index when our saw position and the first point position is lesser than 0.1f, okay. we are increasing the index by 1. So 1, so 1 is the second point. As we know, the index of second point is 1. So if we play, okay, if we play we will go to the first point. By default we set the index 0. 0 means the first point and 1 is the second. Okay, as you can see, it's going to first point and it's going to second point. But when we are going to second point, okay, second point means index is 1. Okay, we need to set the index. Okay, as you can see, index is become 2. Okay, what we gonna do, we're gonna set the index when we in this second point we're gonna set the index to 0. If it will be 0, it will go back to that index. Okay, the first point. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to check. Okay, we need to check if index, okay, index is greater than or equal to point. Okay, points dot length basically means we are checking, and if index is greater than how many points we have. Basically we have 2 points, 1 2. Okay, game object 1 and 2, we have 2 points. Okay, and the index is greater than this 2 points. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna set back to index to 0. Okay, we're gonna set the index to 0 and control s on your keyboard. So when the index became 2, okay, 2, it will when the index be when this saw, okay, this saw and this the second point, if the distance between point 1f, so we are going setting back index to 0. Okay, so it will go to the first one. So if we select the saw, okay, if we select the saw, okay, if we hit play, by default we set the index 0. Okay, by default we set the index 0, so it will go to first point. Okay, when and then we are checking distance between saw and that point. Okay, that point, so we are increasing the index by 1. But when we are checking the saw and this point, the second point distance, okay, distance, we are setting back index to 0. Okay, so if we head back to the position, as we can see, if the first point, let's suppose this is 0, so we are moving to the first point. Okay, first point, and we are checking our current our saw position and the first point position. If it's lesser than 0.1f, so we are increasing the index. So index will be 2, index will be 1, and we are checking, so we will move to our transform dot position. We are moving to the second point. Okay, second point, and we are checking if the current position and the second point position. Okay, let's suppose this becomes 1, in the next time this index will be 1. Okay, we are checking current position and the second point position. If it's lesser than 0.1f, we are increasing the 1 unit. But we, so this will be 2, index will be 2, as we know. And in the index, what we are doing, index 2, and how many points we have, we have 2 points and index becomes 2. So what we are do, so index becomes greater than point dot length. Okay, or they become equal. So that's we are setting the index to 0, so it will go to first point. I hope you understand the logic behind it. Okay, so we also have to make this prefab. Okay, we also have to make this prefab and the animation. So we just go to assets folder. Okay, assets folder, right click and create a folder, name that folder to prefab. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna drag the saw. Okay, drag the saw to that prefab folder, so we will have a save option. Okay, if we lost somehow lost from the scene view or the hierarchy, we won't able to restore it. So so that's why we have to make this prefab. Okay, and also we're gonna animate this. Okay, we're gonna animate this. So what we need to do, we need to head over to that sprite sheet of this saw. Okay, if we go to saw, as we can see over here, so select to the first to the less firstly you have to make an animation folder. So just right click on assets folder, okay, create a create folder, okay, name that folder to animation, okay, name that folder to animation, name that folder to animation, and into that folder, okay, into that folder we're gonna place the animation. So what we need to do, select the first one to the end, okay, by holding down shift and left mouse button and drag it to the saw, okay, drag it to the saw, okay, and head over to assets. You created the animation folder, go to that animation folder, okay, and you can create another folder by just right click new folder, name that folder to show, you can name it, but I'm gonna leave it to animation folder, okay. So I'm going to call it show, hit enter, okay, hit enter, and select the game object and go to animation. As you can see, it's playing the uh, show animation. If you can find the animation tab, just go to window, okay, window, okay, window, then animation and animator as well. So what we gonna do, if you select the show, as you can see the plus icon over here in the animator. So what we need to do, we need to override, so we need to go to overrides and then apply all. It will change the prefab as well with this animator will also attach to that prefab folder. So sorry, that prefab, okay, prefab game object of this show. So we need to hit apply all, it will change in that prefab as well. Let's say we lost from the scene view, okay, we lost from the scene view, we can drag that show from the prefab folder, okay. That's what so if you understand, then gives a thumbs up, okay, and if you are really new to my channel, then subscribe it for future tutorials. And lastly, thanks for watching this video, okay. I hope you enjoyed, okay, and goodbye.